order. Good afternoon. We join us and stand for the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we got a pretty full agenda today, so we're going to kind of change things up a little bit, go through some mundane stuff at first, and then we're going to kind of jump around a little bit. So, first thing is the approval of the minutes from September 6th, September 20th, and October 4th, October 18th, and November 1st meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Payroll, November 14th and November 28th, 2016.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Claims, November 3rd, November 10th, November 17th, November 23rd, and December the 1st.
So moved.
Second.
Second. And all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval of the 2017 holiday schedule.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. How many holidays are there on this one?
Oh, boy.
Mhm.
11?
Okay.
10? 10.
10. Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, and approval of longevity.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, let's do the 911 upgrade and discussion on the RFP first, so that all the firefighters and first responders and people that are got to go to bad things can get out of here and get freed up. So CJ, is Motorola coming up?
Jay. I believe John Astor's here also.
Yep.
So, John, if you want to come forward, feel free.
Thank you, Commissioners, for your time today.
So, we know that we need to do the infrastructure for 911 immediately, if we're going to get any kind of deal. And to create that infrastructure is going to take over a year, right? And
Approximately.
So during that period of time, we'll have an opportunity to look for vendors for our other items that we're going to need to get all the departments up in the right spot. So, you want to go from there, or what would you like to add?
Well, obviously, we have this radio project we've been working on for about a year and a half, but really, we started down this path more than a couple of years ago when we acquired some grant money that bought some radios, and that really is what kind of set us on this path of migrating over to the state system. And the last year and a half has involved a lot of meetings and planning and talking numbers and gathering information from MIPSIC to understand what a migration over the state's radio system would look like. And we've got a really good idea today. We presented, Motorola presented back, I believe it was in the summer this year, to give us kind of an idea, and all of that brings us to today.
Yeah.
Talk about the infrastructure. I think Motorola, Jay had something to add.
Okay.
Yeah, no, obviously we appreciate the communications we've had over the past year and a half as we work through to see what this would look like. Comes at a good time. You know, IPSC is currently doing their Phase 3 and soon to be Phase 4 cutover, so that's where the P25 upgrade is going to be completed in the counties here and surrounding. So as far as all the groundwork, that's already laid from that perspective. It's just, you know, adding your piece and figuring out the subscriber piece on the back end later next year.
Okay, so everyone understands. Motorola has the contract from the state of Indiana. They're the only one authorized to provide the infrastructure that we're going to require. So what we're going to do today is make a motion, I hope, to purchase that infrastructure on an agreement with them, and 20 years worth of maintenance that goes with that infrastructure. Then we're going to talk about putting out an RFP that'll be open to any provider to provide radios. The county doesn't feel its position to provide radios for every department in Porter County, although we do dispatch for every department in Porter County. So most of the municipalities are going to be on their own. We're obviously going to have to take care of the sheriff's department and those kind of peoples, but the firefighters that are here, the police departments that are here, all are aware that they need to go back and talk to their city councils or mayors and get them on board with this project so that they can figure out where their financing is coming from to make the purchase for the radios. Chief Pfeiffer of Portage has spent hours, countless hours, putting together the grant situation that occurred for the fire departments and what have you. Their radios, for the most part, and all the people that participated in that grant system are up and running and ready to switch over to the 800 megahertz that we're talking about. So just want to make sure everybody knows where we're at with this whole thing. So I'll entertain a motion for the purchase of the infrastructure equipment from Motorola, and the way that will break out is principal payment for 3 years of $473,643.54, and then after the third year, we're going to get a rate of 3.12%. The payment schedule will remain the same, but a portion of that will go to interest and a portion to principal, for a total purchase price of $4,358,564.
And I believe also, Mr. President, that the payments do not start until 2018.
Right.
So that gives us a whole nother year to help build out our infrastructure and dealing with the budgeting and all the other things, not only for county government, but for the other political subdivisions within the county. So I would also like to add that we will be going, part of this infrastructure piece, a large portion of it will be towards building towers. We're going to be putting a tower in, it appears, down at the South County Public Highway, County Highway Garage, so there'll be a tower going up in there. We've had preliminary discussions with Porter Township and their fire department, and we feel that that's a great location for another radio. The state has a tower up on the northeast side of the county, and we can get on that tower at no cost, or there'll probably be some upgrade costs and things that we'll have to do to get into that tower. But we'll be now going for 5 towers in the county, which should give us redundancy and should give us broadcast capability throughout the entire county, which will be much more reliable. They will be pointed back south, so we don't have to deal with the lake and all the issues that go with Lake Michigan. So I think the folks in South County and where a lot of the infrastructure work is going to go, because in the north part of the county, we're in fairly good shape for the upgrade. So, just to clarify once again of what that infrastructure piece and what all that goes for. There's other things in there for Motorola and things to do, but these are 200-foot monopole towers, and they're going to reach for the sky, and they're going to be able to help us communicate not only within Porter County, but as the state system develops, that will also let us communicate across the entire state, which I think also gives us a tremendous first responder communications for emergencies and other things. So this is really the big baseline foundation of moving forward. One of the other things as we move into next year and we start getting into the radios, we are going to be meeting with the individual municipalities and other things, because one of the goals I know that we've talked about here is to see if we can maybe move away from VHF sooner rather than later. That is a cost to the county right now of about $100,000 to $125,000 a year if you credit out some contracts that we looked at. That's an ongoing cost. A lot of that is there to push out to our volunteer fire departments through pagers and other things. But there's some new technology out there that we've just become aware of, thanks to John Asher and his crew. And we want to sort of test this new technology with apps and other things to see if the volunteer community really wants to have a part of that. I think it's also a way that we can communicate with our volunteers a little more effectively through a smartphone, but we want to get your input on that. We don't want to get too far over the skis on that, but at $100,000 to $125,000 a year to the county, if we can get rid of that reoccurring dollar amount, that gives us more flexibility to do other things that we want to do within the system. So, more to come, but this is, like John and I talked, this is a big day for us. This is a big deal, and we're excited. So, a lot of the legwork's been done, and we appreciate everybody in this room that's been a part of that. But now it's time to get busy here. And so with that, Laura, I didn't know if you wanted to say anything, or... Okay. Scott?
I just want to be clear that the numbers that John, that is for the actual infrastructure portion. We are also, as part of today's motion, approving the 20 years maintenance agreement. That's coming in at $1,548,613 over the course of 20 years. That is really not a capital expense the same way that the infrastructure portion is. That's going to be paid yearly as part of our maintenance agreements that 911 currently has. So that's going to be ranging between $70,000 and $80,000 a year for the next 20 years, but that's going to be more of a yearly budgetary item. The first number that John read off, that $4 million number, that really is more along the lines of a capital outlay. And also, for clarity purposes, there's no prepayment penalty. This gives us an opportunity to digest this for a year, figure out exactly what we're doing with some other financial issues. It may remain a 10-year lease payment, but it's also something that we could potentially pay off at any time also. So just wanted to get that clear.
It is a lot of money, make no mistake about that. I mean, but I think everybody in this room knows that technology doesn't sit still and wait for people to come along and say, hey, catch up. So if we want the best, which is what we've always had in this county, we have to pay for it. So unfortunately, it's going to cost some money. So I'll make a motion that we accept the agreement.
I'll second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much, Commissioner. Appreciate it.
And we'll hold on a minute if, I know there's a lot of people that probably want to exit the room at this point. Thank you, guys. We probably ought to consider the other part of that.
What time?
Well, here's the issue.
All right. We'll wait.
The state, we were just at that time, so that's why we waited.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. We have a comp time report. Who's going to do that?
Vicki.
Vicki's going to do that?
Okay, well,
Okay.
do you want me to come up there or just talk
You
from
can
there?
do from
You can do it
Okay.
from there.
Well, as we talked about before, my office has been doing some internal auditing of our payroll, and part of that project involves keeping detailed account of the comp time that has been accumulated among the various departments. And we issued our first report last year, and now we're prepared to keep issuing these on a monthly basis. I believe the commissioners asked for this on a monthly basis. And so you can see by department how the comp time has been accumulating. I think it's fair to say that most departments, since we began tracking this in earnest, have done a very good job of reducing their comp time. The auditor's office is one of the big ones that has cut down comp time. So has the commissioner. You guys have done a fantastic job reducing your comp time. So we will be giving you this report on a monthly basis.
Great.
We were a little bit set back because of the budget hearings this time, but we'll try to do it after the first payroll of each month and give it to you in this form. If you want it in a different format, we can do it any way that you want.
We have it both printed and electronically, that's more than enough, I think.
Yes.
And it's easy to follow, too. So thank you, Vicki.
Very good.
This will be something that we will be monitoring very closely going forward on a monthly basis, and they will become part of our meetings going forward, too. So that's another area we're trying to nail down, so.
Okay, NDOT, Code of Ethics and Conflict of Interest Policy.
NDOT.
All right, so I put together a policy based upon the state kind of follows suit with the federal government and bringing down their conflict of interest policy. It's fairly complicated in the sense of you have to be able to determine whether or not you are dealing with a engineering firm is, was, or maybe in the future dealing on any project in the county that at some point had federal funds, whether those federal funds flowed through the state to us or directly to us. Last week when we were down in Indianapolis for the newest conference on this issue, there's still some gray area. It's not completely ferreted out. They've got it locked down pretty tightly. So in order to kind of take away any confusion for our employees, basically at this point with this, what our policy is that when you're dealing with engineers at this point in time, it's just a no-go zone as far as lunches, dinners, golf outings, gifts of any sort, until we get a little bit better idea of where the ins and outs are. I mean, frankly, one of the examples we were giving at the conference was an engineering group left a golf ball in the golf cart, and then you got in and started golfing. You should take the golf ball back to the engineering firm. So they obviously got pretty serious about this policy.
What if you lose the golf?
Well, good question.
You get a stroke, extra stroke.
So basically, at this point, only thing this is that we're going to, if you guys approve this policy, we'll send it out to the departments that are affected by, just so that they know how to keep themselves out of trouble with an inadvertent lunch or something along those lines that we just want to stay away from at this point. And the ramifications for violating this are pretty significant, all the way up to and including repayment of the federal funds for the project that we utilized for. So that's a pretty...
golf ball there.
Yeah, that's a pretty big stick, so that's why we're just going to take, at this point, just take the easy way and say, just stay away from it until further notice.
Scott, does this become part of our employee manual, or is this
Right now,
separate of that, or?
I was going to keep it separate because it's probably not in its final form at this
Okay.
point. This is kind of a stopgap policy by the commissioners to, again, keep our highway department, stormwater department, et cetera, out of harm's way in the meantime. Once this settles down and we get a little better, clearer direction, then we can go back and actually amend either our employee policy book or our local ordinances and deal with it more officially.
Are we going to accept this today, and are we going to accept it for individual departments, or?
I was just going to do it countywide. All the departments the commissioners have authority over would be under this policy until we adopted a separate one.
Okay.
Again, just as a fail-safe to keep everybody out of harm's way.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bob Thompson, Director of Plan Commission and Department of Development and Stormwater Management. Title gets longer, the hair gets grayer. I don't know.
Scott getting taller. Not getting taller.
No, he's not getting any taller, is he? Okay. We're going to do an ordinance for the operation of the county's public safety, law enforcement, and other emergency-related telecommunications, and an ordinance relating to plan commission fees and building fees, and an ordinance establishing an unsafe building fund. Hallelujah.
I'll take the first one,
Okay.
and that's the telecommunications. What this essentially is any development that comes in within the unincorporated area of the county that hits 5 stories or larger, then we must have the petitioner go over to E911 to make sure that there is not going to be any interruption in radio communications with our emergency services to E911. And I did send this over to CJ to review, and it also states 800 megahertz, which is, I guess, the new frequency you're going to, so that is covered in here. We don't have many, but any kind of development we see that we have in question, we can send over there to 911 for their review to make sure that radio communication is not going to be interrupted.
And it's really about that particular building. We're not concerned about it messing up communication countywide. It's whether or not the radios will work in that
Particular
larger
building. I mean, they talk about the hallways, they also talk about the stairways, and there's a certain percentage, I think it's like 90%, that they have to make sure that that radio communication is good within that building, if I remember correctly.
Right.
And I've already asked one person, telling them that this is a draft ordinance, if they would be willing to participate in this as their first one, and it's a structure that's going to be going up at Porter Business Park.
Okay, so we need to have a public hearing, don't we?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll open the public hearing in regard to an ordinance for the operation of the county's public safety law enforcement and other emergency-related telecommunications. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor of this ordinance? Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone wishing to speak in favor of this ordinance? Is there anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Last time. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Seeing none, I close the public hearing. What's the pleasure of the board?
I'll make the motion to approve the ordinance on first reading.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the ordinance on first reading. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And an ordinance relating to plan commission fees and building fees.
Okay, and I'm going to team with this with the last one real quickly with my description. On this, the building, planning, and zoning fees, we're adjusting those mainly with the section of this. Last year, we did up the single-family home permits and also new commercial buildings. We're not doing that this year. What we're doing here is the accessory structures, pools, fences, signs, that we are raising those fees up. Now, part of that is going to be, as per the ordinance, diverted over to the unsafe building fund. So, I mean, it is going to be a bit of an accounting bookwork that we have to do up there, but it's trying to establish an unsafe building fund, so that way we have monies going forward to help enforce with the unsafe buildings. Right now, we do not have any money for that, and we would have to pay for an administrative judge to come in to do rulings on these places, plus court reporter costs, then later actually going out and doing, if need be, the demolition costs and stuff. So we're trying to develop this fund through our fee ordinances.
Since they dovetail each other, Scott, can I do them both in the same public hearing?
You can.
Okay. I'll open a public hearing into the ordinance relating to the plan commission fees and building fees and an ordinance establishing the unsafe buildings fund. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in favor of either of these ordinances? Anyone wishing to speak in favor of either of these ordinances? Anybody wishing to speak in favor of either of these ordinances? I'll speak in favor. This county has needed an unsafe building fund for 100 years, and it's always been a fight between the health department, the plan commission, and anybody else who has an iron in the fire as to who's going to pay for it. And there's never been any funding to take care of it, and I am pleased as punch that we're finally going to have an unsafe building fund. Anybody wishing to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Anybody wishing to speak in opposition to this ordinance? Last time, anybody wishing to speak in opposition to these ordinances? I close the public hearing. What's the pleasure?
I would just like to echo what Commissioner Evans just said. In talking with Joey Lahr, who's our code enforcement, we, early on when I got in, John's been here a lot longer than I kept going to say, why can't we do something about this? I thought it was the ordinances and the laws we had on the books, and to find out it's not our ordinances and our laws. They're pretty up to date. It's we never had a funding mechanism.
Correct.
And so I echo what Commissioner Evans says. This couldn't come at a better time for us. So thank you.
And lastly, the nice part about the way this is set up is this should be a permanent funding source for unsafe building for as long as we can foresee. A portion of this is coming from these fees. That's part of the rationale for the increase in the fees.
Correct.
So as long as permits are being issued, some portion of that will be going to the unsafe building fund, which will allow it to replenish itself, so.
Just a word of caution, if you're thinking of calling Bob to tell him about an unsafe building that needs to be ripped down, give him a year or so to get some money before. It's not cheap, believe me. Okay, there's a motion to, for the ordinances?
I'll
You make.
second.
And a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Bob.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob.
Approval of the Animal Control and Animal Shelter Services contract between Porter County and Beverly Shores for 2016 through 2018. Is there a motion?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Vacant and abandoned property donation to Porter County, the guidelines for such.
Yeah, I developed this guideline basically because we seem to be getting an uptick in requests to give us property for one reason or another. I felt it necessary to do a policy, one, so that we could have a application kind of process that our office could hand out to the people who are actually requesting it, to kind of get some of the vital information taken care of, and then also, within this policy, if it's a piece of property that is in a city or a town, this policy says you have to go to the city or town first and at least offer it to them first. If they don't want it, then you can offer it to us. If it's in the unincorporated area of the county, obviously, we will take first bite at the apple, but there's also a way of dealing with the taxes, as far as them being current, them being responsible for the taxes up and through that current year, so that we don't have the issue of the county owning property that now we are paying ourselves property taxes for. So this policy kind of deals with those issues, and I know we've probably got 5 or 6 people who are been calling about potentially donating, and this will be a way to deal with that in a uniform manner.
Great. Okay, so do we need a motion to adopt the guidelines?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Bank of New York Mellon Trust Company Letter of Agreement, Porter County Jail Building Corp.
You want me to take it?
Go ahead.
Okay. Commissioners, this is a matter that the Jail Building Corporation has dealt with. It's been some time since you've heard anything about this, because this only comes around once every 5 years. And so this is for the New York Bank of Mellon to perform arbitrage rebate calculation. What arbitrage is a review or a study of the earnings that the tax-exempt bonds receive through the higher earning yields versus what they would have received if they were in traditional bond markets. Even though these are tax-exempt bonds, we may be subject to a tax that would be payable to the IRS, depending on these rebate calculations. So this is something that needs to be done, and New York Bank of Mellon has done this in the past as well.
Arbitrage, not arbitration.
Correct, yes, correct.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Request to approve payment application number 3 from Larson Danielson for the Porter County Animal Shelter. They've met the criteria for this payment?
Yes.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Motion, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. NIPSCO agreement for the extension of facilities from the provision of electric service beyond standard service for the new Porter County Animal Shelter.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Approval to cover the cost of remaining medical bills for Ken and Jamie Euro in the amount of $1,375.24.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we're going to stop here for a minute and go to stormwater. We've got several bid openings that we have to get open. So we're going to take a few minutes, get those open, and then we're going to turn them over to the Stormwater Board, so at the end of this meeting, they'll be ready to comment back on it. So the commissioners stand in recess, and we'll reopen as the Stormwater Management Board. And here comes the guy with gray hair.
Yeah, could you give us an explanation on what we're doing here, Bob?
What we're doing here is, we did a spraying in August, I believe it was, within our subdivision ponds that are considered regulated or that we look after on this to kill the invasive plants that are in there, cattails, Phragmites, others. And now what we have to do is we are going through and we're proposing to go back to these and do mechanical removal on these. We did have asked 3 to give us quotes on this. They're sealed quotes on this, and they submitted them to Mike here, and we did receive 2 back. One was so busy, elected not to give us any quotes on that. So this is for the mechanical removal. It is dealing with 43 subdivisions and the retention ponds and detention ponds there. And what it ends up coming down to, though, is a total of 50 ponds that we're having. So this is rather unique. It's a lot. But we worked with Attorney McClure on this, and what we have is there's a spreadsheet on there, and every single pond should be listed with their quote for those ponds.
M&K Excavating LLC, Green Line Landscaping. Those are the only 2?
Yep. And Bob, these will be started this year yet, or next year, Mike?
We're going to start, later this month, more than likely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
The contractors have 120 days from the time that we issue the notice to proceed, so as soon as we get things in order and sign the contracts, we can issue the notice, and they've got basically till middle April to get things done.
You're going to take those under advisement, right?
We're going to take those under advisement, yep.
Right, we're going to give you our recommendation during the regular Stormwater Board meeting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, we'll reconvene as the Board of Commissioners. We'll skip the pledge this time. Let's see, office holders and department heads. Diane Fike. 4D, Court Commissioner Lisa Mosier's request to approve the purchase of the state and U.S. seals for the 4D courtroom. I'm sorry, I got to pull it up here to see how much they are. Okay. $2,632, and they are 15 inches in diameter, and cast aluminum plaque with painted finish, and concealed metal stud mounting. So, questions?
Rhonda, do we have funds to pay for this?
Yeah, the CCD furniture and office fixtures.
Okay.
That'll work.
Does that work? I'll make the motion.
Motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Sheriff Dave Reynolds and E. Hahn. We're going to open proposals for jail medical. Colleen Doherty, analyst, high intensity for HIDA, Center for Workforce Innovations, contract for service, Correct Care Solutions, health services agreement, 2016 Porter County Sheriff compensation agreement, 2017 Porter County Sheriff compensation agreement. We didn't have an agreement for 16? No. Sorry. Okay, what do you want to do first? The proposals for jail medical?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
We have two proposals. One's from Quality Correctional Care, and one is from Correct Care Solutions.
My suggestion on both these would be to take them under advisement, put them back on our agenda for the 20th, give everybody a chance to really vet them out. This is a fairly complicated and significant contract and proposals dealing with the medical provider at the jail. So that would be my suggestion.
Who's the current
Yeah.
provider?
CCS.
Okay.
It's one of the two.
And they're big.
Yep. But he's right, we need to, there's a lot of fine lines there.
A lot of dollar signs there, too.
Lane 5.
Oh, wow, why not? What is it now, 1-3?
Here.
What did he just
This is Scroggins. Oh, okay. That's not the existing, okay. I thought.
Sure.
Yeah, really. Holy mackerel. Getting work out.
Library of Congress here.
Yeah, we'll be back in 20 minutes.
That woke you up, didn't it?
Yeah.
This one is from CCS Correct Care
Gonna
Solutions.
leave a mark. It's right where we thought it was. 5. It's right there.
You got a dolly?
I know.
Here.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along. We're going to do the intel analysis from HIDA, right?
Right.
Okay.
Let me explain that.
Yeah, sure, explain it.
Well, we started a HORT team earlier this year, and which involved all our officers investigating all the overdoses as crime scenes, taking cell phones, using our Cellbrite, and it's really worked well with the intel analysts with HIDA. The problem is we've done such a good job, and unfortunately we have so many overdoses. The HIDA can't do, and they're expanding the HORT concept in LaPorte and Lake County. So we broached the Lake County HIDA to partially fund intel analysts on a temporary basis to see if it works for, I think, 4 months. We would pay half of the fund, would take it out of our commissary.
No, it's coming out of 2505.
2505. That's why she's here. And then the other half will come from HIDA. If it works, if it looks like it's going to work, we'll reevaluate it, and then we'll approach Lake County and LaPorte County to help offset the funding, and we'll sit down in us 3 counties, because all 3 counties are going in on the HORT program. So we'll be getting a lot of intelligence coming into with phones. So that's kind of what our game plan is, just to get. We've always wanted an intel analyst, we just couldn't figure out the funding mechanism. So this is our way of moving it along, so we can get the intel analyst. And the person will be in our station, but she'll be working really with intelligence coming in from Lake County and LaPorte County and us. And then actually the feedback is tremendous. It goes right back to the departments that are supplying the information.
So cost breakdown again.
What it's,
$10 an hour up to 12 hours a week?
I think
We're paying-
Making
we're paying
20,
half.
we're paying half, yes,
we're paying her $10, and they're paying $10, and it's,
12 hours a week. So we get started and see.
Comments, questions, suggestions? Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. Motion carries. Center for Workforce Innovations, contract for services.
this is a program that you funded in the past. We are now, we have a grant that was approved last year. We're trying to fund part of that GED program through that. And where's that coming out of?
That's going to come out of the DOC grant that we have. So you evidently funded it. We couldn't find when you did it, but it's,
I think we quit like 2 years ago or something like that.
right, yeah.
Well, we don't want to lose the program, so that's our way of trying to keep it going and to really develop a funding mechanism. Hopefully, we can use it, and that will come from that the grant we got from the DOC grant. They're saying we'll probably be able to get that every year. So if we can do that, then that'll take care of our DOC, our GED program.
Good. Fun spending other people's money, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a motion for the Center
It's
for
our
Workforce Innovations Contract for Services?
So moved.
Motion is a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. Motion carries. Correct Care Solutions Health Services Agreement.
So this was just we did a 6-month agreement starting back in July of this year to get us to be able to to do the RFP that we just opened. So this expires at the end of December 31st, but I wanted to make sure that we got this on file, and that's what we've been operating under. And then at the next meeting, depending on how those RFPs look, we can award the next contract.
Toward the end of the year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. 2016 Porter County Sheriff Compensation Agreement.
Basically, these are the two agreements for 16, calendar year 16, calendar year 17. There's two different, or multiple different, actually, more than two ways that the sheriff can be paid. Some of them are pretty old and outdated. This way that we've been choosing to utilize pays the sheriff the same amount as our judges and our prosecutor. So this, for 16 and 17, this fixes those numbers, and the numbers are based upon the raises that the state employees receive. This is how the judges are indexed also. So that's why the numbers are slightly different for 16 and 17. And then we have a contract with the sheriff, and then that takes away all the other statutory, pretty old ways of paying the sheriff. So, and that's why some of those sheriff sales and things like that come to the general fund, because that would be the other way of paying the sheriff. This is much more
How much
straightforward. and
taxes
clean.
they collect
Right.
and those kinds.
Food.
Food, et cetera.
Okay, so is there a motion? Let's do them both at the same time.
I'll make the motion to approve both 2016 and 2017.
What, can we do them in separate motions, just so we got them clear?
Okay.
I'll change the motion to 2016.
Second.
Motion to approve the Sheriff's Compensation Agreement for 2016. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose same sign. Motion carries. Is there a motion for 2017?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the Porter County Sheriff's Compensation Agreement for 2017. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks.
Thank you for the support in 800 too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Andy McKay, Interim Highway Supervisor. We're going to receive and open the 2017 supply and service bids.
Hi, Andy.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Phoenix Services turned their bid in late. It's on the top. So this is-
What was the deadline?
The deadline was yesterday at 4:30 p.m.
And when did it arrive?
When was it? When did it? Just this morning it
Yes.
came in.
I don't think we can accept it.
Did I miss something?
Yeah.
All right. Sorry.
One of the proposals came in.
All right, did we do,
It's off to the side.
was it a quote,
No, it was a bid.
sealed bid?
Yeah.
Then no.
Okay, Commissioners, we have 5 bids for limestone. Should I read them off? Or?
Yes.
Okay, the first one is from Ralston Trucking. Next is U.S. Aggregates. Next is Reese Riley. Next is not marked on the outside, but we believe it is, well, we won't say, I guess, but we think we know who it is based on them being a bidder in the past. And then the 5th is Harry Brown Trucking.
You want us to give you a number, Andy, or you just want to take these and look at them?
I figured I'd take them back to your guys' office, and then all the people could take pictures of them and look at them.
All righty. Because they involve multiple items and multiple
Exactly.
bids. So we'll just take them all under advisement, give them to you, and you want to do it at the end of this meeting, or you want to come back next?
We'll come back next.
Next meeting?
20th.
Okay. Ralston Paving, CNA Surety, U.S. Aggregates, Reith Riley. Whitcomb Trucking. How's your salt doing this year?
Good.
Harry Brown Trucking, Hebron,
Is that it for that one?
that's it?
That's it for limestone. For slag, we have 2 bids, Ralston Trucking and Beamster Bower.
Easter Board. Ralston Paving Corporation. International Standards Worldwide South Shore Plant. Cool. Any paper?
Okay, for pavement stripings and markings, we have 2 bids, Air Marking Company and Indiana Traffic Service.
There only used to be one of those.
Indiana Traffic did ours
Yeah.
this year.
Earmarkings, bid for mobilization, picking it up. Indiana Traffic Services, bid for mobilization, is not here.
Rental rates for equipment, 2 bids, Mount Carmel Stabilization and GE Marshall.
This is Mount Carmel Stabilization Group. GE Marshall, Valparaiso, Indiana.
For signs and signposts, we have 3 bids, Custom Products, Hall Signs, and Stello Products.
Hey, Andy, we're doing asphalt in the spring.
Yes,
Okay,
we didn't bid any but 2 Minnesota.
yeah. That should be interesting. I know.
Custom Products Corporation, Jackson, Mississippi. All signs. Bloomington, Indiana. Stello, I'm sorry. Spencer, Indiana.
Calcium chloride products, 1 bid from Great Lakes Chloride.
Morton doesn't bid anymore, or they?
They used to salt, that's who's got salt bid this year. That's off the state bid.
And GLC's Warsaw.
For diesel fuel, 2 bids, Triple J Mark Petroleum and Al Warren Oil.
Yeah, that's, get your spreadsheet.
Indiana.
Sure you don't want to make recommendations by the end of the meeting?
Yeah. Get a little confused.
We'll give you 5 or 10 minutes. Oh, Lord. AL Warren Oil is Hammond, Indiana.
Culverts and guardrails, we have 4 bids: St. Regis Culverts, Metal Culverts, James H. Drew, and Debco Metal Culverts.
St. Regis is out of Indianapolis.
Okay, that's what I was just going to ask. Yeah.
Metal Culverts, Inc., Jefferson City, Missouri. James H. Drew, Indianapolis. And the people that have saved us untold amount of money for our bridge replacements, Debco Metal Culverts from Francis.
And in precast or pre-stressed bridge slabs and beams, there is just one bid, American Timber Bridge, and that will take care of all the bids. Yeah.
American Timber Bridges out of Portage, Michigan. Not to be confused with Portage, Indiana.
AKA Kalamazoo.
Are we there yet?
Really?
We're there?
Pardon?
We have more?
Nope, that is it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Andy, you take those under advisement, come back at our next meeting, and
Yes, sir.
we'll award the bids.
Yes, sir.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Andy.
much. It beats what we used to do when we'd have to do all the supply bids for the clerk's office. We sit here and bid paper clips for hours. Okay, Kevin Pizzer, Museum Director, AmeriCorps Service Members.
Hi, Kevin.
Hi,
How you doing?
doing all right, how are you?
Good,
Great.
thanks for your patience.
Sure. Actually got to read a little bit of history.
Really? We pay you to do that.
That's right, a little bit, and to share it, so I'm trying to do that too.
Okay. What do you want to talk to us about?
Well, the need, in my estimation, for some additional help through the AmeriCorps program, which I think is the most efficient way to get what amounts to full-time support. One thing that I think we're missing out on, even though we are in a record attendance year of nearing 10,000 visitors, is I think our interface with the local schools is lacking, and an additional position within AmeriCorps would make it a lot easier to communicate, not only to the schools, potentially giving us the opportunity to bring things to the schools, but if anything, to coordinate and hopefully get the schools to come and actually see the museum and learn about Porter County's history firsthand.
Did I hear the word volunteer in there someplace, or is this a...
Well, it's, the funny thing is, it's probably the cheapest way. It is a volunteer. It would be, there's a stipend that we essentially have to pay into. There's a federal grant that is coordinated through the United Way to pay a living stipend for an individual. So we're I guess the best way to put it is putting a little bit of skin into the game. But otherwise, if we would look at doing this any other way, I just don't think it would be feasible.
Whose budget do we want to take the skin from?
I leave that to you as the experts.
I think we were going to take it out of contractual.
Okay.
Within the commissioner's budget. It was originally going to be out of hourly,
Okay.
but I think it made more sense because we're actually doing a contract with
United Way.
And I leave that to you
Yeah.
totally. I just know it would be a huge
The
challenge.
museum doesn't have its own budget.
Yeah.
It's part of ours, so
Right.
they're not getting special treatment.
And the dollar amount again is?
I
Just
set
under
the total, I think, was it, just under 10.
Yeah, just under 10,000.
And I can clarify that to you. I'd be happy to share any of that information.
And this will get your goal
Yes,
to where you want every fourth grader
yes.
to come
Every-
to the
every-
County Museum.
That's right.
Okay.
I think it's something that is a focal point in the classroom of teaching at that level, both third and fourth grade. I want to find a way to actually get them into the museum, and if not, let's find a way to coordinate to get our things to them, whatever makes it most efficient.
Good idea. Okay. Is there a motion to approve the museum and the AmeriCorps service members, it's not a contract, agreement?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
I do want to mention one more thing. I don't want to hold up anything, but I did come back from Indianapolis yesterday where we received the Outstanding Historical Organization Award on behalf of the state.
Wow.
And it was said to me in conversation that what we have done is nearly impossible for a small museum, and every other museum of every size in Indiana is looking at Porter County now.
Wonderful.
So,
Good job.
Thank you, Kevin. Yep. Don Wilson, IT Director, Adams Remco, copier purchase and maintenance agreement for the clerk's office, Adams Remco, copier purchase and maintenance agreement, adult probation, and North County Complex. No, Don?
Yeah, Don said that I think he's on vacation, so
Okay.
he asked me if you guys had any questions to answer them, but
Okay.
basically we're buying 2 copy machines that we normally do and the maintenance agreements to go with them.
And the maintenance agreements are picked up by the departments, or the offices.
Yeah,
Yes.
so we-
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Okay, is there a motion for the copying machines?
So moved.
A motion, second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Matt Steckley, Facilities Director, Crowder Detention, Field Service Agreement for riot doors at the jail, Mitsubishi Electric, jail and E911 batteries, proposal for domestic boiler replacement for the jail.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Matt.
The first Crowder Detention, this is just a run-of-the-mill general services agreement. We've got a few riot doors, actually a lot of riot doors at the jail. We've got a few that aren't working. So basically, there's not a lot of vendors that service this type. This company is out of Indianapolis, and so at least if we need them, I might get some eyes on some of these doors and get them fixed. So
Good.
just to get up to par.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Mitsubishi.
So, and Scott, please assist me as well, he's involved in this. So basically, we have batteries that back up 911, and the batteries are, basically have their life cycle. So this is to replace batteries. Mitsubishi, we weren't able to get quotes on something like this as it's custom. It's a Mitsubishi system, so we had to go single source and basically one quote, which is for the amount, I believe, of $48,000. $46,398.
What kind of life expectancy will they have?
We're looking at about 5 to 7 years with maintenance.
And just so everyone understands out there, what happens if the power goes down, we do have a generator, but there's always takes time for the generator to kick on. So these batteries take care of that time between that power goes down to when the generator kicks on. So it's really a redundancy for 911, so there's never a gap. So that's what these batteries are for. So they're very vital for that 15, 20-second period there, but it's very vital. It could, cost someone their life, so.
I have a question. The subtotal on this quote sheet we have is $47,088, but then the total is $46,398. How is it less?
I never clarified with Mitsubishi on that. I was just told go with the total. Somehow there's a credit or something in there. I can get back to you on that.
Okay, is there a motion for the batteries for the jail and 911? Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. And then the domestic boiler replacement for the jail.
So, real quick, the jail was built and engineered with 4 domestic hot water boilers. We've been on 3. One of them was basically used for parts for quite a while, and then early in the year, the 3rd one went out, cracked heat exchanger. Their older parts are basically custom made now. The jail has been on 2, and it's basically with the weather getting colder, we're using more hot water. I know we're expanded process in the kitchen, so we're using more hot water. We went on 50% load as long as we could. So I went out to bid, I got 3 quotes. Mechanical Concepts came in the most competitive at $25,845, and that's for all 4 to be brand new. And we went with, I got involved as well in picking out the equipment. We're going with a really nice unit. This worked out really well. 4. There's 4.
So that's in the whole, the 25 is the whole 4?
25 is all 4 installed, and it's a really good unit.
Way to work it.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of transparency, who are the other?
The other 2 vendors were Precision Controls and Circle R Mechanical.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion, is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second to award the bid for the domestic boilers, 4 of them, at the jail to
Mechanical Concepts.
Mechanical Concepts, I'm sorry. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thanks. Have a great
Should
day.
be more efficient too, right?
Yeah.
20 years more efficient.
Yeah, they're good units.
Have a good day.
I don't know, we took one out of the museum that was as big as a Volkswagen, so, and it worked pretty good.
Yeah.
Lori
In the
Daly,
room.
2017 catering contracts. Hello, Lori. We have a list of them already, do we?
We do. The only thing that changed, well, there were 2 changes. Rudy's Barbecue is no longer with us, and one of the Berkey's concessions, one of the Berkey's sons took it over, so there's a new LLC. So I think we pulled that other contract and put the other one in, because they had their own insurance and everything.
Can we
Those are
approve
the
these
only-
all at once?
Yes, we can. Any other changes? That's it?
Nope, that's it.
Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve all 10 catering agreements
For 2017.
for 2017.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion is second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries. Thanks, Lori. Scott McDonald, Opera House Director. We're going to do artistic service agreements for James Mullen, James Simon, Kyle Gobert, and Andrew Flash. Humane Society of Northwest Indiana venue rental agreement for Tom Lounges. That, by the way, is a nonprofit. Artistic service agreement again for Tom Byerly, Abigail Campbell, Keith Palazzolo, and then a venue rental agreement, a nonprofit, Carlos Rivera, and a dinner party agreement between Carlos Rivera and Eleanor Jambrina. And is there a motion for all of them at once?
So moved.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Aren't you sorry you waited all that time?
No, not at all, actually.
Looks like you waited a really
Yeah, it's been a rough 6 months. It's for me in St. Louis. We close this weekend. Things are going really, really well with the show. So if you get a chance, Friday, we are doing a county employee appreciation night with discounts and all of that. So please come out. We're looking very, very forward to seeing everybody at the show.
Have you talked to IT about getting that out?
Yeah, I've got Stacy on that. So, and we have last night of auditions for producers this evening. So come on out. So, thank you for everything.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Break the leg.
Okay, let's see, reports from Commissioner. I think there was only one item, and I believe it was North District. Let's see.
Yep, you need it here, John.
You got it.
Okay.
Enclosed, please sign certified. Well, that's the wrong one.
It's in front of us.
There it is.
Timberlake.
Timberland Farms LLC Performance Letter of Credit number 01105 in the amount of $281,036 has been issued by Centier Bank. Recommend approval.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Correspondence. We have on file the Weights and Measures monthly report for October 16th through November 15th, 2016. We have a request for approval by Professor Del Wright, Jr. of Valparaiso Law School to use the courthouse on January 26th through the 29th, 2017, to host the regional rounds of the National Trial Competition, which is a law school mock trial competition to encourage and strengthen student advocacy skills. VU has offered to pay for security during the hours they have requested.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Proclamation celebrating the 200th anniversary of the day President James Madison signed the act admitting Indiana as the 19th state of the Union. A flag which flew over the State House this fall was given to us in honor of the bicentennial legacy in our county. Do we have that proclamation? Whereas Sunday, December the 11th, 2016 marks the 200th anniversary of the day President James Madison signed the act admitting Indiana as the 19th state of the Union, and whereas the occasion of Indiana's 200th birthday, we honor the culmination of the bicentennial year in Indiana, a year of celebrating history, nature, community, and igniting the future for generations to follow. And whereas we take this opportunity today to recognize the many community leaders and volunteers who played vital roles in creating the legacies of this year that we will long treasure and the stories that will be told for years and years to come. And whereas 1 year ago we celebrated the promise of the bicentennial year for residents and visitors, today we pause to remember the Hoosier values and pride we saw on display and make a promise to continue the spirit of bicentennial, create a brighter future for our children. Now therefore, this Board of County Commissioners of Porter County do hereby proclaim December 11th, 2016 as Indiana Statehood Day and Bicentennial, and invite all citizens to duly note this occasion. Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second to accept the proclamation. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. We have a request for approval by Jerome Zakora to continue renting 24 acres of county property located at 400 North in the Norfolk and Southern Railroad easement, which is on the north side of the Grand Trunk easement, which is on the south, and 210 west, which is on the west. Man. At a rate of $150 per acre for farming purposes.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. How come they have 5 addresses in South County? What's that about? Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those same sign. A request for approval by the Porter County Health Department to sponsor an angel tree from the Salvation Army this holiday season. The angel tree helps less fortunate families in our community to provide Santa Claus gifts for their children.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Request for additional appropriation, Fund 8400, $15,000 to account 3120, consultants including autopsy. Porter County Commissioners and Kankakee Valley Historical Society received a grant of $15,000 in historic preservation plan for the Collier Lodge and Couch through the Indiana Community and Rural Affairs.
So moved.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Request for transfer of funds, Highway Department, Fund 1176, $1,000 from account 2210 diesel, fuel, and oil to account 1120 hourly for part-time clerical to make it to the end of the year.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Request for transfer of funds, Highway Department, Fund 1176, $4,500 from account 2362 bituminous to account 2320 auto, truck, and equipment for vehicle repairs.
So moved.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Fund 1,000.1030, $2,000 from account 2330 household and vending to account 2220 uniforms and clothing for new uniforms and buyout from vendor for weekly services. Employees now wash their own, so this is be the purchase of those uniforms.
So moved.
Motion is second, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. Is that the end? Oh, my gosh, did I miss anything? Yep. That's it? For sure? Anybody wish to address this body? Anybody? Nobody? Okay, we stand recessed.